I can't even begin to count the number of experts who have come to me to advise them on how to get on podcast shows. And when I say, what's your primary reason for getting on a podcast show? They say, I want to sell my stuff. Okay, you want to sell your stuff, but a podcast show is not the place to do it. Hi, this is Kathleen Gage with Power Up for Profits and the 100 Club, where we teach bona fide experts how to find 100 podcast interviews in record time. And I'm talking about bona fide experts, people who have been in an industry for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, that have a very important message to take out to market, and yet they've never really tapped into the power of podcast shows. Now, there are some people who believe that the only reason you get on a podcast show is so that you can use that as a platform to sell. Nothing could be further from the truth. As a matter of fact, podcast shows are not the place to sell. Podcast shows are really designed for you to create value for the end user, whatever your area of expertise is. For example, I have one woman who is an expert on fossil fuels. I've got a gentleman who is an expert on transformation, and by that, he was a priest for nearly 20 years. Then he went into drug and alcohol abuse counseling, and now he works within a corporate environment teaching communication skills and emotional intelligence. And he brings his many years as a priest to the experience, and that's what makes him different than other people doing the same thing. I have another woman who is a food intuitive. I've got a few fine artists, one that does retreats in New Mexico. I've got a photographer who's been in photography for over 40 years, and he tapped into a spiritual side of photography at one point. And the whole point of me telling you this is to show you the wide array of types of people that I work with, helping them to get on podcast shows to put their message out to market. What I don't teach them is how to sell on a podcast interview, because that's, again, not the reason that you want to get on an interview. The main reason is to raise awareness about what you do and what solutions you can provide for the people either watching or listening. And so when you go on to an interview, go on with the intention that you're really there to bring value to the listener or the viewer. Also, when the host says, well, so tell us, where can people get more information about what you do, Kathleen? That is not the time for me to say, well, on Facebook, you can go here. On LinkedIn, you can go here. On Twitter, you can go here. On YouTube, you can go here. No. Send them to my web address, my website, and on my website, I should have all that information. Something else that you want on your website is a media page. And on that media page, you want to have all the information that a host could possibly need when they put you on their show. It could be an intro. It could be your bio, because they're going to do some promotions, a few headshots and action shots, maybe an image of your book. All of that information is very important for hosts to have readily available. And it's easier to have it in one location than by sending a whole bunch of files. Keep in mind, as you're going through the process of looking for opportunities, that the less information you can send, well, not the less information, but the fewer files and the fewer emails you send, the better off you're going to be, because the host is on overload just like the rest of us, probably more so. And so you want to make it as easy and streamlined as possible. But the main point of this video today is to share with you the whole reason why you get on podcast shows. One is to position your expert status, to really position your message, to position what your point of view and perspective is. The main reason, the main reason is to create value for the audience of the host. Because if you create value for the audience of the host is going to love you. Now, before we go any further, what I'd like you to do is subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification. Go ahead and do that right now. Just subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification so you can be notified when new videos come out with more great information like this. And give me a thumbs up on this video, because the more thumbs up we get, the more it goes out into YouTube land, and the more people can get this information to benefit them as they're looking for opportunities. As you look for opportunities, pace yourself. Don't try to do everything in one day. spend maybe a half hour to an hour a day doing your research and your outreach to look for opportunities. If you pace yourself and you do a half hour to an hour a day, Monday through Friday, by the end of a month, you're going to have quite a few opportunities. The challenge that I see a lot of people have is they try to pack too much into one short period of time rather than just pacing themselves. It's like when I train for a marathon. I don't train all in one day. I train over a period of weeks or months, depending on how long the race is. And so what you want to do is you want to pace yourself and you want to do outreach and research every single day, a little bit every day, because that adds up at the end of a month, at the end of 3 months, at the end of 6 months. You make this a part of your business practice and your marketing practice and your promotions practice, you will be amazed at the results that you will get. And most importantly, remember, your purpose in doing interviews is not to talk about how wonderful you are. Your purpose is to educate the market. Like in the case of the emergency room doctor who's a client, and he teaches people how to identify spousal abuse. Huge, huge, huge topic. And it's not about how wonderful he is as a doctor. It's really about here's what you can do to identify spousal abuse, and it could literally save somebody's life. So again, I want you to subscribe to this channel. I want you to really give some thought to what is it that you're trying to educate people on? What's the value you bring to the marketplace? And don't go on a podcast show to sell your stuff, because that is not the purpose. What you want to do is engage people, get them to your website. Somehow, if there's a way for them to get on your list, you want to get them on your list, engage them, build rapport with them, build value with them, stay in touch with them, and it'll be easier to introduce your products and services as they become familiar with who you are. This is Kathleen Gage, wishing you a great, great day.